I didn't know that punk rock, which is a music which strives to be rebellious, and rebellion equals to cool, at least in that world. I was
Right.
never in my life able to relate to that thing before that, because up until then I was like, if you disobey, that's a bad thing, you should not do that.
Right.
Suddenly now this
Right.
world randomly opens and tells me that it's cool to disobey. Not only is it not a bad thing,
Right.
but you might be rewarded if you disobey, really, really nicely. So that's just one example. But even in terms of, I'm a big fan of writing. It's something that's very close to me. I try to do it as much as possible. I try to get as good at it as much as I can. And
Right.
listening to those lyrics, the way the words were crafted, and just whatever story was being told. A lot of my storytelling pursuits were actually born at the time, even though I didn't even realize it. So,
I mean, like, there is a book I think, written by Michael Dell, and it's on my reading list, but I like the title itself. It says "Only the Paranoid Survive." So, I mean, every idea, I mean, even though it looks like crazy to others, it's like, yeah, I mean, like, people who achieve good things, they are paranoid about certain things, and then passion, like, it just takes you to the journey. Is what I've seen to be more exciting than any destination itself.
that's very true.
Right? I mean,
Process over
I've read
goals.
this a lot. Yeah, I've read this about this a lot, but I'm personally experiencing it every day because the journey is so fascinating. It's that destination. I'm not thinking about 10 years from now. No, I'm just thinking about today. This conversation. I'm talking to my mom and like, okay, let's have a good conversation. That's all. Right?
And I think one of the things that COVID did, that COVID brought to light, was a lot of people. I remember seeing this viral tweet that Harvard students are actually paying $40 for a Netflix subscription, because if you're
Yeah.
paying that amount of money and you aren't even there, you're just looking at video lectures. That is
Yeah.
what made a lot of people really put things
How is it
into.
different from Udemy or
Right.
Coursera?
Exactly.
And you know what I'm talking about. So,
Exactly.
how is it even different? And all your, I mean, and all you're sharing is knowledge, and of course, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like, I mean, the way I see it, there's a lot of entitlement going on in terms of like charging a premium just because it's a quote unquote Ivy League or whatever. Like, all the campuses, it's great. I've been to Harvard, it's great. I took a picture next to it's amazing.
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. Definitely have thoughts on that. I do feel this almost exodus in terms of people's beliefs and faith. Maybe faith is the better word than belief, from mainstream media, in that, as we probably know, or as most people that like to, dig one level deeper know, that at the end of the day,
Right.
it's at some point down the line, I'm not sure when this happened, but
Right.
it's no longer the job of the media to say the truth. Now it's their job
Right.
to raise fund for their stakeholders. Those two
Right.
are very different things. Those two are very
Yeah.
different endeavors.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the direction that I've personally noticed, at least
Got
in
it.
the last 5 to 10 years. I don't know what lies ahead, but that's where,
Yeah.
you find all of these individual journalistic profiles or personal brands come up and be really strong in that. You can trust them, you can rely on them, because that's what their brand is built on. They're like, I'm on the floor
Yeah.
right now recording this with my camera. I'm in, Ukraine or wherever, and this is what's happening. You can't doubt that.
Yeah.
They're there.